All right, we are coming up on 8 o'clock. So, let's settle in, get comfortable, grab a drink and a book, and let's find out what tonight has in store for us with Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. It would help if I pressed my transition button. All right, so last time we got through Song of Myself, probably the most iconic of the portions of this collection of poems. And we've seen already some of the hints of very much very likely why this has found itself on so many ban lists and been so controversial over the years and earned Walt a bit of a reputation. And all the same, I'm happy for have chosen this. In fact, whenever I find a book that has been banned that comes across our radar to be read, I'm eager. Because you know what? Fuck the haters. If you're banning a book, chances are it's for a bad reason, and you're a bad person. So, that's just more advertisement to read said book. So, let's see if we can find something else that pissed off the Puritans tonight. It doesn't take a whole lot. I mean, they're a rather irritable bunch, but all the same. So, let's shift back into our reading nook. We've got our drinks ready. We've got our time set aside. Simba has joined us already on the desk. So, I will be reading one-handed. The other hand must be attending to the cat. It is unfortunate, but necessary. So, let's shift over, and let's see what we have ahead of us. Which part were we in? This is... Book 4. Children of Adam. A Woman Waits for Me. A woman waits for me. She contains all. Nothing is lacking. Yet, all were lacking if sex were lacking. Or if the moisture of the right man were lacking. Sex contains all. Bodies, souls, meanings, proofs, purities, delicacies, results, promulgations, songs, commands, health, pride, the maternal mystery, the seminal milk, all hopes, benefactions, bestowals, all the passions, loves, beauties, delights of the earth, all the governments, judges, gods, followed persons of the earth, these are contained in sex as parts of itself and justifications of itself. Okay, well, we already found it one more reason that this was banned, I'm sure. Because, obviously, you can't be talking about sex like that. So, oh no! Oh no! They gasp! Well, that didn't take us very long. Without shame, the man I like knows and avows the deliciousness of his sex. Without shame, the woman I like knows and avows hers. Now, I will dismiss myself from impassive women. I will go stay with her who waits for me, and with those women that are warm-blooded and sufficient for me. I see that they understand me and do not deny me. I see that they are worthy of me. I will be the robust husband of those women. They're not one jot less than I am. They're tanned in the face by shining suns and blowing winds. Their flesh has the old divine suppleness and strength. They know how to swim, row, ride, wrestle, shoot, run, strike, retreat, advance, resist, defend themselves. They are ultimate. In their own right, they're calm, clear, well possessed of themselves. I draw you close to me, you women. I cannot let you go. I would do you good. I am for you, and you are for me. Not only for your own sake, but for others' sakes. Enveloped in you sleep greater heroes and bards. They refuse to awake at the touch of any man but me. It is I, you women. I make my way. I am stern, acrid, large, undissuadable, but I love you. I do not hurt you any more than is necessary for you. I pour the stuff to start sons and daughters fit for these states. I press with slow, rude muscle. I brace myself effectually. I listen to no entreaties. I dare not withdraw till I deposit what is so long accumulated within me. Through you I drain the pent-up rivers of myself, In you I wrap 1,000 onward years. On you I graft the grafts of the best beloved of me and America. The drops I distill upon you shall grow fierce and athletic girls. New artists, musicians, and singers, the babes I beget upon you are beget babes in their turns. I shall demand perfect men and women out of my love spendings. I shall expect them to interpenetrate with others, and as I and you interpenetrate now, I shall count on the fruits of the gushing showers of them. As I count on the fruits of the gushing showers I give now, I shall look for loving crops from the birth, life, death, immortality I plant so lovingly now. Well, that went a little off the rails, if I'm being entirely honest. Let us just say that Walt is in touch with all of his desires, and not necessarily to the detriment of any, but he doesn't hold anything back. Spontaneous me. Here we go again, spontaneity. Spontaneous me, nature, the loving day, the mounting sun, the friend I am happy with. The arm of my friend hanging idly over my shoulder, the hillside whitened with blossoms of the mountain ash. The same late in autumn, the hues of red, yellow, drab, purple, and light and dark green. The rich coverlet of the grass, animals and birds, the private, untrimmed bank, the primitive apples, the pebble stones, beautiful, dripping fragments, and the negligent list of one after another, as I happen to call them to me or think of them. The real poems, what we call poems being merely pictures, the poems of the privacy of the night, and of men like me. This poem, drooping shy and unseen, that I always carry, and that all men carry. Know once for all, avowed on purpose, wherever are men like me, are our lusting, lurking, masculine poems. Love thoughts, love juice, love odor, love yielding, love climbers, and the climbing sap. Arms and hands of love, lips of love, phallic thumb of love, breasts of love, bellies pressed and glued together with love, earth of chaste love, life that is only life after love. The body of my love, the body of the woman I love, the body of the man, the body of the earth, soft forenoon airs that blow from the southwest, the hairy wild bee that murmurs and hankers up and down, that gripes the full-grown lady flower, curves upon her with amorous full legs, takes her his will of her, and holds himself tremulous and tight till he is satisfied. The wet of woods through the early hours, the two sleepers at night lying close together as they sleep, one with an arm slanting down across and below the waist of the other. The smell of apples, aromas from crushed sage plant, mint, birch bark, the boy's longings, the glow and pressure, as he confides to me what he was dreaming, the dead leaf whirling its spiral whirl and falling still and content to the ground. The no-formed stings that sights, people, objects sting me with, the hubbed sting of myself, stinging me as much as it ever can anyone. The sensitive, orbic, underlapped brothers, that only privileged feelers may be intimate where they are. The curious roamer, the hand roaming all over the body, the bashful withdrawing of flesh where the fingers soothingly pause and edge themselves. The limpid liquid within the young man, the vexed corrosion so pensive and so painful, the torment, the irritable tide that will not be at rest. The like of the same I feel, the like of the same in others, the young man that flushes and flushes, and the young woman that flushes and flushes, the young man that wakes deep at night, the hot hand seeking to repress what would master him, the mystic amorous night, the strange half-welcome pangs, vision sweats, the pulse pounding through the palms and trembling encircling fingers, the young man all colored red, ashamed, angry, The souse upon me of my lover the sea, as I lie willing and naked, the merriment of the twin babes that crawl over the grass in the sun, the mother never turning her vigilant eyes from them, the walnut trunk, the walnut husks, and the ripening or ripened long round walnuts, the continents of vegetables, birds, animals, the consequent meanness of me, should I skulk or find myself indecent, while birds and animals never once skulk or find themselves indecent. The great chastity of paternity to match the great chastity of maternity. The oath of procreation I have sworn my Adamic and fresh daughters, the greed that eats me day and night with hungry maw till I saturate what shall produce boys to fill my place when I am through. The wholesome relief, repose, content, and this bunch, plucked at random from myself. It has done its work. I toss it carelessly to fall where it may. So, I have a comment to make. Before I joined the Fanfic Friday group as a guest when we read a couple weeks ago, one of the hosts asked me if I had any particular boundaries, whether anything were a step too far. And I said, well, classic lit is a lot saucier than you might imagine. And if I can manage that, I can manage anything in a fanfic. And I stand and point to this poem, this collection of poems. Walt Whitman, you are saucier than any fanfic I have ever seen. Bring it on. Bring it on. I can handle anything after these. About a half step removed from just reading porn on stream. And again, nothing needs banned. Hey, Mix. We're reading Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, and I will say that this is probably rather more salacious than anything that is read on Fanfic Fridays. This last one we just went through was just towing the line over being straight up smut, and I'm here for it. Celia had asked what my limits were. If anything, I was uncomfortable with reading, and I'm just like, nah. I got this. It probably asked you the same thing, if I'm being honest. All right, let's continue, and we'll see what other misadventures our friend Walt has been getting up to. 1 hour to madness and joy. 1 hour to madness and joy. Oh, furious! Oh, confine me not! What is this that freezes me so in storms? What do my shouts amid lightnings and raging winds mean? Oh, to drink the mystic deliria deeper than any other man. Oh, savage, tender achings! I bequeath them to you, my children. I tell them to you for reasons, O bridegroom and bride. Oh, to be yielded to you, whoever you are, and you to be yielded to me in defiance of the world. Oh, to return to paradise. Oh, bashful and feminine. Oh, to draw you to me, to plant on you for the first time the lips of a determined man. Oh, the puzzle. The thrice-tied knot, the deep and dark pool, all untied and illumined. Oh, to speed where there is space enough and air enough at last, to be absolved from previous ties and conventions, I from mine and you from yours, to find a new, unthought-of nonchalance with the best of nature, to have the gag removed from one's mouth, to have the feeling today or any day I am sufficient as I am. Oh, something unproved, something in a trance, to escape utterly from others' anchors and holds, to drive free, to love free, to dash reckless and dangerous, to court destruction with taunts, with invitations to ascend, to leap to the heavens of the love indicated to me, to rise thither with my inebriate soul, to be lost, if it must be so, to feed the remainder of life with 1 hour of fullness and freedom, with 1 brief hour of madness and joy. Out of the rolling ocean, the crowd. Out of the rolling ocean, the crowd came a drop gently to me, whispering, I love you. Before long I die. I have traveled a long way merely to look on you, to touch you. For I could not die till I once looked on you, for I feared I might afterward lose you. Now we have met, we have looked, we are safe. Return in peace to the ocean, my love. I too am part of that ocean, my love. We are not so much separated. Behold the great rondure, the cohesion of all, how perfect! But as for me, for you, the irresistible sea is to separate us. As for an hour carrying us diverse, yet cannot carry us diverse forever. Be not impatient. A little space. No, you, I salute the air, the ocean, and the land. Every day at sundown, for your dear sake, my love. Ages and ages, returning at intervals. Ages and ages, returning at intervals, undestroyed, wandering immortal, lusty, phallic, with the potent original loins, perfectly sweet, I, chanter of Adamic songs, through the new garden, the west, the great cities, calling, deliriate, thus prelude what is generated, offering these, offering myself, bathing my songs in sex, offspring of my loins. We two, how long we were fooled. We two, how long we were fooled. Now transmuted, we swiftly escape as nature escapes. We are nature. Long have we been absent, but now we return. We become plants, trunks, foliage, roots, bark. We are bedded in the ground. We are rocks. We are oaks. We grow in the openings side by side. We browse. We are two, among the wild herd, spontaneous as any. We are two fishes swimming in the sea together. We are what locust blossoms are. We drop scent around lanes, mornings and evenings. We are also the coarse smut of beasts, vegetables, minerals. We are two predatory hawks. We soar above and look down. We are two resplendent suns. We it is who balance ourselves orbic and stellar. We are as two comets. We prowl fanged and four-footed in the woods. We spring on prey. We are two clouds, forenoons and afternoons driving overhead. We are seas mingling. We are two of those cheerful waves rolling over each other and intertwining each other. We are what the atmosphere is. Transparent, receptive, pervious, impervious. We are snow, rain, cold, darkness. We are each product and influence of the globe. We've circled and circled till we have arrived home again. We two. We avoided all but freedom and all but our own joy. Excuse me, hold on. Walt, what? Oh, Hymen. Oh, Hymene. Oh, Hymen. Oh, Hymene, why do you tantalize me thus? Why, oh, why sting me for a swift moment only? Why can you not continue? Oh, why do you now cease? Is it because if you continued beyond the swift moment, you would soon certainly kill me? Oh, Walt Whitman. Jesus Christ. The name of this poem or the book? Yeah. Actually insane. Um, well, have fun with that. If we give you any poor inspiration, I'm sorry to your players. But the screaming must continue. I mean, if we're talking about a hymen. All right, let's continue. I am he that aches with love. I am he that aches with amorous love. Does the earth gravitate? Does not all matter, aching, attract all matter? So the body of me, to all I meet or know. Native moments. Native moments when you come upon me. You are here now. Give me now libidinous joys only. Give me the drench of my passions. Give me life, coarse and rank. Today I go consort with nature's darlings. Tonight, too, I am for those who believe in loose delights. I share the midnight orgies of young men. I dance with the dancers and drink with the drinkers. The echoes ring with our indecent calls. I pick out some low person for my dearest friend. He shall be lawless, rude, illiterate. He shall be one condemned by others for deeds done. I will play a part no longer. Why should I exile myself from my companions? Oh, you shunned persons, I at least do not shun you. I come forthwith in your midst. I will be your poet. I will be more to you than to any of the rest. Once I passed through a populous city. Once I passed through a populous city, imprinting my brain for future use with its shows, architecture, customs, traditions. Yet now, of all that city, I remember only a woman I casually met there who detained me for love of me. Day by day, night by night, we were together. All else has long been forgotten by me. I remember, I say only, that woman who passionately clung to me. Again we wander, we love, we separate again. Again she holds me by the hand. I must not go. I see her close beside me with silent lips, sad and tremulous. I heard you solemn sweet pipes of the organ. I heard you, solemn sweet pipes of the organ, as last Sunday morn I passed the church. Winds of autumn, as I walked the woods at dusk, I heard your long-stretched sighs, up above, so mournful. I heard the perfect Italian tenor singing at the opera. I heard the soprano in the midst of the quartet singing. Heart of my love, you too I heard murmuring low through one of the wrists around my head. Heard the pulse of you when all was still, ringing little bells last night under my ear. Facing west from California's shores. Facing west from California's shores, inquiring, tireless, seeking what is yet unfound. I, a child, very old, over waves towards the house of maternity, the land of migrations, look afar. Look off the shores of my western sea, the circle almost circled. For starting westward from Hindustan, from the vales of Kashmir, from the south, from Asia, from the north, from the god, the sage, and the hero, from the south, from the flowery peninsulas and the spice islands, long having wandered since, round the earth having wandered. Now I face home again, very pleased and joyous. But where is what I started for so long ago? And why is it yet unfound? As Adam, early in the morning. As Adam, early in the morning, walking forth from the bower refreshed with sleep, behold me where I pass, hear my voice approach, touch me, touch the palm of your hand to my body as I pass. Be not afraid of my body. Yes, as Adam, yes. Naked as a jaybird as you wander around in the sunlight. All right, that brings us to the end of the 4th book of Leaves of Grass. This one was probably, the 4th book was probably a fair bit of the reasoning why this book frequently found itself banned. It was rather more explicit than some of the others we'd read, and rather more polyamorous. Walt definitely found love wherever he found it. It took root and sprung apart wherever the fertile ground was found. Dude, I cannot even imagine. Like, that just would not be a good time. Not at all. That's half the reason I could never make it as a nudist. It just sounds uncomfortable. Alright, let's continue now with Book 5. Calamus. In Paths Untrodden. In paths untrodden, in the growth by margins of pond waters, escaped from the life that exhibits itself, from all the standards hitherto published, from the pleasures, profits, conformities, which too long I was offering to feed my soul. Clear to me now, standards not yet published, clear to me that my soul, that the soul of the man I speak for, rejoices in comrades. Here, by myself, away from the clank of the world, tallying and talked to here by tongues aromatic, no longer abashed, for in this secluded spot I can respond as I would not dare elsewhere. Strong upon me the life that does not exhibit itself, yet contains all the rest. Resolved to sing no songs today, but those of manly attachment, projecting them along that substantial life, bequeathing hence types of athletic love. Afternoon, this delicious 9th month in my 41st year, I proceed, for all who are or have been young men, to tell the secret my nights and days, to celebrate the need of comrades. Ah, yes, comrades. Scented herbage of my breast. Scented herbage of my breast. Leaves from you I glean, I write, to be perused best afterwards. Tomb leaves, body leaves, growing up above me, above death. Perennial roots, tall leaves, oh, the winter shall not freeze you, delicate leaves. Every year shall you bloom again. Out from where you retired, you shall emerge again. Oh, I do not know whether many passing by will discover you or inhale your faint odor, but I believe a few will. Oh, slender leaves, oh, blossoms of my blood, I permit you to tell in your own way of the heart that is under you. Oh, I do not know what you mean there underneath yourselves. You are not happiness. You are often more bitter than I can bear. You burn and sting me, yet you are beautiful to me, you faint-tinged roots. You make me think of death. Death is beautiful from you. What indeed is finally beautiful except death and love? Oh, I think it is not for life I am chanting here my chant of lovers. I think it must be for death, for how calm, how solemn it grows to ascend to the atmosphere of lovers. Death or life, I am then indifferent. My soul declines to prefer. I am not sure, but the high soul of lovers welcomes death most. Indeed, O death, I think now these leaves mean precisely the same as you mean. Grow up taller, sweet leaves, that I may see. Grow up out of my breast. Spring away from the concealed heart there. Do not fold yourself so in your pink-tinged roots, timid leaves. Do not remain down there so ashamed, herbage of my breast. Come, I am determined to unbear this broad breast of mine. I have long enough stifled and choked, emblematic and capricious blades, I leave you. Now you serve me not. I will say that I have to say by itself. I will sound myself and comrades only. I will never again utter a call, only their call. I will raise with it immortal reverberations through the states. I will give an example to lovers to take permanent shape, and will, through the states, through me, shall the words be said to make death exhilarating. Give me your tone, therefore, O death, that I may accord with it. Give me yourself, for I see that you belong to me now above all, and are folded inseparably together. You love and death are, nor will I allow you to balk me any more with what I was calling life. For now it is conveyed to me that you are the purports essential, that you hide in these shifting forms of life for reasons, and that they are mainly for you, that you beyond them and come forth to remain, the real reality. Behind the mask of materials you patiently wait, no matter how long, that you will one day perhaps take control of all, that you will perhaps dissipate this entire show of appearance. That, maybe, you are what is all for, but it does not last so very long. But you will last very long. Whoever you are, holding me now in hand. Whoever you are, holding me now in hand. Without one thing, all will be useless. I give you fair warning before you attempt me further. I am not what you supposed, but far different. Who is he that would become my follower? Who would sign himself a candidate for my affections? The way is suspicious, the result uncertain, perhaps destructive. You would have to give up all else. I alone would expect to be your sole and exclusive standard. Your novitiate would even then be long and exhausting. The whole past theory of your life and all conformity to the lives around you would have to be abandoned. Therefore, release me now, before troubling yourself any further. Let go your hand from my shoulders. Put me down and depart on your way. Or else, by stealth in some wood for trial, or back of a rock in the open air. For in any roofed room of a house I emerge not, nor in company, and in libraries I lie as one dumb, a gawk, or unborn, or dead. But just possibly, with you on a high hill, first watching lest any person for miles around approach unawares, or possibly with you sailing at sea, or on the beach of the sea, or some quiet island. Here, to put your lips upon mine, I permit you. With the comrade's long-dwelling kiss, or the new husband's kiss. For I am the new husband, and I am the comrade. or if you will, thrusting me beneath your clothing, where I may feel the throbs of your heart, or rest upon your hip. Carry me when you go forth over land or sea, for thus merely touching you is enough, is best. And thus touching you would I silently sleep and be carried eternally. But these leaves, conning you, con at peril. For these leaves and me you will not understand. They will elude you at first, and still more afterward. I will certainly elude you. Even while you should think you had unquestionably caught me, behold! Already, you see, I have escaped from you. For it is not for what I have put into it that I have written this book, nor is it by reading it you will acquire it. Nor do those know me best who admire me and vauntingly praise me. Nor will the candidates for my love, unless at most a very few, prove victorious. Nor will my poems do good only. They will do just as much evil. Perhaps more. For all is useless without that which you may guess at many times, and not hit. That which I hinted at. Therefore, release me, and depart on your way. For you, O democracy, come, I will make the continent indissoluble. I will make the most splendid race the sun ever shone upon. I will make divine magnetic lands with the love of comrades, with the lifelong love of comrades. I will plant companionship thick as trees along all the rivers of America, and along the shores of the Great Lakes, and all over the prairies. I will make inseparable cities with their arms about each other's necks by the love of comrades, by the manly love of comrades. For you, these from me, O democracy, to serve you, ma femme. For you, I am trilling these songs. Yes, that is how you eternalize democracy. Legitimize and eternalize America with manly love. These I singing in spring. These I singing in spring collect for lovers. For who but I should understand lovers and all their sorrow and joy? And who but I should be the poet of comrades? Collecting I traverse the garden, the world, but soon I pass the gates. Now along the pondside, now wading in a little, fearing not the wet. Now by the post and railed fences where the old stones thrown there, picked from the fields, have accumulated. Wild flowers and vines and weeds come up through the stones and partly cover them. Beyond these I pass. Far, far in the forest, or sauntering later in summer, before I think where I go, solitary, smelling the earthy smell, stopping now and then in the silence. Alone, I had thought, yet soon a troop gathers around me. Some walk by my side, and some behind, and some embrace my arms or neck. They, the spirits of dear friends, dead or alive. Thicker they come, a great crowd, and I in the middle, collecting, dispensing, singing. There I wander with them, plucking something for tokens, tossing toward whoever is near me. Here, lilac with a branch of pine. Here, out of my pocket, some moss, which I pulled off a live oak in Florida, as it hung trailing down. Here, some pinks and laurel leaves, and a handful of sage. And here, what I now draw from the water, wading in the pondside. Oh, here I last saw him that tenderly loves me, and returns again, never to separate from me. And this, oh, this shall henceforth be the token of comrades. This calamus root shall interchange youths with each other. Let none render it back. And twigs of maple, and a bunch of wild orange and chestnut, and stems of currants and plum blows, and the aromatic cedar. These I compassed around by a thick cloud of spirits, wandering, point to or touch as I pass, or throw them loosely from me, indicating to each one what he shall have, giving something to each. But what I drew from the water by the pondside, that I reserve. I will give of it, but only to them that love, as I myself am capable of loving. Not heaving from my ribbed breast only. Not heaving from my ribbed breast only, not in sighs at night, in rage dissatisfied with myself, not in these long-drawn, ill-suppressed sighs, not in many an oath and promise broken, not in my wilful savage soul's volition, not in the subtle nourishment of the air, not in this beating and pounding at my temples and wrists, not in the curious systole and diastole within which will one day cease, not in many a hungry wish told to the skies only, not in cries, defiances thrown from me when alone far in the wilds, not in husky pantings through clenched teeth, not in sounded and resounded words, chattering words, echoes, dead words, not in these murmurs of my dreams while I sleep, not in the other murmurs of these incredible dreams of every day, nor in the limbs and senses of my body that take you and dismiss you continually, not there, not in any or all of them, O adhesiveness, O pulse of my life! Need I that you exist and show yourself any more than in these songs? Of the terrible doubt of appearances. Of the terrible doubt of appearances, of the uncertainty, after all, that we may be deluded, that may be reliance and hope are but speculations after all, that may be identity beyond the grave is a beautiful fable only. Maybe the things I perceive, the animals, plants, men, hills, shining and flowing waters, the skies of day and night, colors, densities, forms, maybe these are, as doubtless they are, only apparitions, and the real something has yet to be known. How often they dart out of themselves, as if to confound me and mock me. How often I think neither I know nor any man knows aught of them. Maybe seeming to me what they are, as doubtless they indeed but seem. As, from my present point of view, and might prove, as of course they would, not of what they appear, or not anyhow, from entirely changed points of view. To me, these, and the like of these, are curiously answered by my lovers, my dear friends. When he whom I love travels with me, or sits a long while holding me by the hand, when the subtle air, the impalpable, the sense that words and reason hold not, surround us and pervade us, then I am charged with untold and untellable wisdom. I am silent. I require nothing further. I cannot answer the question of appearances or that of identity beyond the grave. But I walk or sit indifferent. I am satisfied. He, a hold of my hand, has completely satisfied me. The base of all metaphysics. Yeah, it's not pretentious at all. And now, gentlemen, a word I give to remain in your memories and minds as base and finale for all metaphysics. So to the student, the old professor at the close of his crowded course. Having studied the new and antique, the Greek and Germanic systems, Kant, having studied and stated, Fichte and Schelling and Hegel, stated the lore of Plato, and Socrates greater than Plato, and greater than Socrates sought and stated Christ divine, having studied long. I see reminiscent today those Greek and Germanic systems. I see the philosophies all Christian churches and tenets. See, yet underneath Socrates clearly see, and underneath Christ the divine, I see the dear love of man for his comrade, the attraction of friend to friend, of the well-married husband and wife, of children and parents, of city for city and land for land. Okay, that's actually pretty decent. At the end, all philosophy is grounded in love and relationships and such. Recorders ages hence. Recorders ages hence. Come, I will take you down underneath this impassive exterior. I will tell you what to say of me. Publish my name, and hang up my picture as that of the tenderest lover, the friend, the lover's portrait, of whom his friend, his lover, was fondest, who was not proud of his songs, but of the measureless ocean of love within him, and freely poured it forth, who often walked lonesome walks thinking of his dear friends, his lovers, who, pensive, away from one he loved often, lay sleepless and dissatisfied at night, who knew too well the sick dread, lest the one he loved might secretly be indifferent to him, whose happiest days were far away through fields, in woods, on hills, he and another wandering hand in hand, they twain apart from other men, who oft, as he sauntered the streets, curved with his arm the shoulder of his friend, while the arm of his friend rested upon him also. When I heard at the close of the day. When I heard at the close of the day how my name had been received with the plaudits in the capital, still it was not a happy night for me that followed. And else when I caroused, or when my plans were accomplished, still I was not happy. But the day when I rose at dawn from the bed of perfect health, refreshed, singing, inhaling the ripe breath of autumn, when I saw the full moon in the west grow pale and disappear in the morning light, when I wandered alone over the beach, and, undressing, bathed, laughing with the cool waters, and saw the sun rise, when I thought how my dear friend, my lover, was on his way coming, oh, then I was happy. Oh, then each breath tasted sweeter, and all that day my food nourished me more, and the beautiful day passed well, and the next came with equal joy. And with the next at evening came my friend, and that night, while all was still, I heard the waters rolled slowly, continually up the shores. I heard the hissing rustle of the liquid and sands, as directed to me, whispering to congratulate me, for the one I love most lay sleeping by me under the same cover in the cool night. In the stillness, in the autumn moonbeams, his face was inclined toward me, and his arm lay lightly around my breast, and that night I was happy. Are you the new person drawn toward me? Are you the new person drawn toward me? To begin with, take warning, I am surely far different from what you suppose. Do you suppose you will find in me your ideal? Do you think it's so easy to have me become your lover? Do you think the friendship of me be unalloyed satisfaction? Do you think I am trusty and faithful? Do you see no further than this facade, this smooth and tolerant manner of me? Do you suppose yourself advancing on real ground toward a real heroic man? Have you no thought, O dreamer, that it may be all Maya. Illusion. Roots and leaves themselves alone. Roots and leaves themselves alone are these. Scents brought to men and women from the wild woods and pondside, breast sorrel and pinks of love, fingers that wind around tighter than vines, gushes from the throats of birds hid in the foliage of trees as the sun has risen, breezes of land and love set from living shores to you, on the living sea, to you, O sailors. Frost-mellowed berries and third-month twigs offered fresh to young persons wandering out in the fields when the winter breaks up. Love buds, but put before you and within you, whoever you are. Buds to be unfolded on the old terms. If you bring the warmth of the sun to them, they will open and bring form, color, perfume to you. If you become the element and the wet, they will become flowers, fruits, tall branches, and trees. Not heat flames up and consumes. Not heat flames up and consumes. Not sea waves hurry in and out. Not the air delicious and dry. The air of ripe summer bears slightly along white down balls of myriads of seeds, weighted, sailing gracefully to drop where they may. Not these. Oh, none of these more than the flames of me, consuming, burning for his love whom I love. No, none more than I, hurrying in and out does the tide hurry, seeking something, and never give up. Oh, I the same. Oh, nor downballs, nor perfumes, nor the high rain-emitting clouds are borne through the open air, any more than my soul is borne through the open air. Wafted in all directions, oh, love, for friendship, for you. Trickle drops. Trickle drops, my blue veins leaving. Oh, drops of me, trickle, slow drops, candid from me falling, drip bleeding drops, from wounds made to free you, whence you were prisoned, from my face, from my forehead and lips, from my breast, and within where I was concealed, press forth red drops, confession drops. Stain every page, stain every song I sing, every word I say, bloody drops. Let them know your scarlet heat, let them glisten, saturate them with yourself, all ashamed and wet. Glow upon all I have written or shall write, bleeding drops. Let it all be seen in your light, blushing drops. Let's project this one. City of orgies. City of orgies, walks and joys. City whom that I have lived and sung in your midst will one day make not the pageants of you, not your shifting tableaus, your spectacles repay me, not the interminable rows of your houses, nor the ships at the wharves, nor the processions in the streets, nor the bright windows with goods in them, nor to converse with learned persons, or bear my share in the soiree or feast. Not those. But as I pass, O Manhattan, your frequent and swift flash of eyes offering me love, offering response to my own, these repay me, lovers, continual lovers, only repay me. Behold this swarthy face. Behold this swarthy face, these grey eyes, this beard, the white wool unclipped upon my neck, my brown hands, and the silent manner of me without charm. Yet comes one Manhattanese and ever at parting kisses me lightly on the lips with robust love. And I, on the crossing of the street or on the ship's deck, give a kiss in return. We observe that salute of American comrades, land and sea. We are these two natural and nonchalant persons. All right, guys, we've got ads kicking off in about, 10 or 15 seconds. And as always, I'd much prefer not to have anyone miss out on anything. So, we'll take this opportunity to take a short break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. So take the chance to stand up, stretch your legs, top up your drinks, and attend to any fuzzy friends you may have about you. And we'll be back in just a bit. Thank you. All right, we are back. Thank you for your patience. I hope everyone had a nice little break from the action. So, let's continue and let's see to what further exaltations of love and depths of depravity Walt Whitman will guide us tonight. I'm not sure that we'll be able to top Hyman, oh Hymen-y, but that was, there's some things you gotta peak. Everything has peak. Sometimes you never top it again. All right. I saw in Louisiana a live oak growing. I saw in Louisiana a live oak growing. All alone stood it, and the moss hung down from the branches. Without any companion, it grew there, uttering joyous of dark green, and its look, rude, unbending, lusty, made me think of myself. But I wondered how it could utter joyous leaves standing alone there without its friend near, for I knew I could not. And I broke off a twig with a certain number of leaves upon it, and twined around it a little moss, and brought it away, and I have placed it in sight of my room. It is not needed to remind me, as of my own dear friends, for I believe lately I think of little else than of them. Yet it remains to me a curious token, it makes me think of manly love. For all that, and though the live oak glistens there in Louisiana, solitary, in a wide flat place, uttering joyous leaves all its life, without a friend or lover near, I know very well I could not. To a stranger. Passing stranger, you do not know how longingly I look upon you. You must be he I was seeking, or she I was seeking. It comes to me as of a dream. I have somewhere surely lived a life of joy with you. All is recalled as we flit by each other, fluid, affectionate, chaste, matured. You grew up with me, or a boy with me, or a girl with me. I ate with you and slept with you. Your body has become not yours only, nor left my body mine only. You give me the pleasure of your eyes, face, flesh as we pass. You take of my beard, breast, hands in return. I am not to speak to you. I am to speak of you. When I sit alone or wake at night alone, I am to wait. I do not doubt I am to meet you again. I am to see to it that I do not lose you. Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot to convince Walt to drift his thoughts to manly love or the love of comrades. But that's not to say that those are the only kinds of love that he's enamored of. He could see a stranger go by and be lost in the illusions of another world, another time, another possibility of a life spent together with a complete stranger. Man, woman, other. Walt is a man of many passions, and not terribly choosy. This moment, yearning and thoughtful. This moment, yearning and thoughtful, sitting alone. It seems to me there are other men in other lands yearning and thoughtful. It seems to me I can look over and behold them in Germany, Italy, France, Spain, or far, far away in China, or in Russia, or talking other dialects. And it seems to me, if I could know those men, I should become attached to them as I do to men in my own lands. Or I know we should be brethren and lovers. I know I should be happy with them. Okay, so again, we come upon the point that Walt is a man of very, very broad strike zone. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen anyone whose strike zone is so broad. Young, old, man, woman, American, European, Asian, it doesn't matter. If you have a pulse, there's a very good chance that Walt might fall for you. If you don't have a pulse, you're still not safe. And you know what? As we have said, good for you. Good for him. Love is love. Enjoy it. What is life without love but boring? If you can find love literally everywhere, you must be living better than anyone else. I hear it was charged against me. I hear it was charged against me that I sought to destroy institutions. But really, I am neither for nor against institutions. What indeed have I in common with them, or what with the destruction of them? Only I will establish in the Manhattan, and in every city of these states, inland and seaboard, and in the fields and woods, and above every keel, little or large, that dents the water, without edifices or rules or trustees or any argument, the institution of the dear love of comrades. Okay, so he's self-aware. He knows that people are saying, this guy might be a subversive. He might be he might have some less than Christian ideas of love. And he says, yeah. The prairie grass dividing. The prairie grass dividing, its special odor breathing, I demand of it the spiritual corresponding, demand the most copious and close companionship of men, demand the blades to rise of words, acts, beings, these of the open atmosphere, coarse, sunlit, fresh, nutritious, those that go to their own gate, erect, stepping with freedom and command, leading, not following, those with never quelled audacity, those with sweet and lusty flesh clear of taint, those that look carelessly in the faces of presidents or governors, as to say, who are you? Those of earth-born passion, simple, never constrained, never obedient, those of inland America. Yeah, apparently in the Midwest, people have no fucks to give. And you know what? You're kind of right. When I peruse the conquered flame. When I peruse the conquered fame of heroes, and the victories of mighty generals, I do not envy the generals, nor the president in his presidency, nor the rich in his great house. But when I hear of the brotherhood of lovers, how it was with them, how together through life, through dangers, odium, unchanging, long and long, through youth and through middle and old age, how unfaltering, how affectionate and faithful they were, then I am pensive. I hastily walk away, filled with the bitterest envy. We two boys, together clinging. Okay, yeah, well, the veil has come off here. There's no illusion to be had here. We two boys, together clinging. One, the other, never leaving, up and down the roads going, north and south excursions making, power enjoying, elbows stretching, fingers clutching, armed and fearless, eating, drinking, sleeping, loving, no law less than ourselves owning, sailing, soldiering, thieving, threatening, misers, menials, priests, alarming, air breathing, water drinking, on the turf or the sea beach dancing. Cities wrenching, ease scorning, statues mocking, feebleness chasing, fulfilling our foray. A promise to California. A promise to California, or inland to the great pastoral plains, and on the Puget Sound in Oregon. Sojourning east a while longer, soon I traveled toward you, to remain, to teach robust American love. For I know very well that I and robust love belong among you, inland, and along the western sea. For these states tend inland toward the western sea, and I will also. Here the frailest leaves of me. Here the frailest leaves of me, and yet my strongest lasting. Here I shade and hide my thoughts. I myself do not expose them, and yet they expose me more than all my other poems. No labor-saving machine. No labor-saving machine, nor discovery have I made, nor will I be able to leave behind me any wealthy bequest to found hospital or library, nor reminisce of any deed of courage for America, nor literary success, nor intellect, nor book for the bookshelf. But a few carols, vibrating through the air, I leave for comrades and lovers. A glimpse through an interstice caught of a crowd of workmen and drivers in a barroom around the stove, late of a winter night. And I, unremarked, seated in a corner of a youth who loves me and whom I love, silently approaching and seating himself near that he may hold me by the hand a long while, amid the noises of coming and going, of drinking and oath and smutty jest. There we two, content, happy in being together, speaking little, perhaps not a word. A leaf for hand in hand. A leaf for hand in hand, you natural persons, young, old and young, you on the Mississippi, and on all the branches and bayous of the Mississippi, you friendly boatmen and mechanics, you roughs, you twain in all processions moving along the streets, I wish to infuse myself among you till I see it common for you to walk hand in hand. Okay, well, if anyone hadn't accused him of being a subversive element, well, here we have it. Here he is, spreading love, free love, and the hope that others all across the Mississippi find love for themselves among whoever they find themselves to love. Oh no, oh no, oh no, how subversive. Clutching of the pearls here. Earth, my likeness. Earth, my likeness, though you look so impactive, ample and spheric there, I now suspect that is not all. I now suspect there is something fierce in you, eligible to burst forth. For an athlete is enamored of me, and I of him. But toward him there is something fierce and terrible in me, eligible to burst forth. I dare not tell it in words, not even in these songs. I dreamed in a dream. I dreamed in a dream I saw a city, invincible to the attacks of the whole of the rest of the earth. I dreamed that was the new city of friends. Nothing was greater there than the audacity, robust love. It led the rest. It was seen every hour in the actions of the men of that city, in all their looks and words. What think you? I take my pen in hand. What think you? I take my pen in hand to record. The battleship, perfect modeled, majestic, that I saw pass the offing today under full sail. The splendors of the past day, or the splendor of the night that envelops me? Or the vaunted glory and growth of the great city spread around me? No. But merely of two simple men I saw today, on the pier, in the midst of the crowd, the parting of dear friends. The one to remain hung on the other's neck and passionately kissed him, while the one to depart tightly pressed the one to remain in his arms. I'm just imagining Walt Whitman, sitting there with a notebook and pen and going full-blown Fujoshi on us. Just sitting there, seeing two people that just might be wandering nearby, might not know them, might not be familiar with each other, just being like, ooh, I ship it, let's go, let's go, let's go. I can't get that out of my head now. Walt Whitman is a Fujo. Sorry. I'm sorry I had to curse you with that. But it might be canon now. To the east and to the west. To the east and to the west. To the man of the seaside state and of Pennsylvania. To the Canadian of the north. To the southerner I love. These with perfect trust to depict you as myself. The germs are in all men. I believe the main purport of these states is to found a superb friendship, exalt, previously unknown. Because I perceive it waits, and has been always waiting. Latent in all men. In RPF Fujo specifically. Sometimes with one I love. Sometimes with one I love, I fill myself with rage for fear I refuse unreturned love. But now I think there is no unreturned love. The pay is certain one way or another. I loved a certain person ardently, and my love was not returned. Yet out of that, I have written these songs. To a Western boy. Many things to absorb I teach to help you become a love of mine. Yet if blood like mine encircle not in your veins, if you be not silently selected by lovers and do not silently select lovers, of what use is it that you seek to become a love of mine? Fast anchored, O eternal love. Fast anchored, eternal, O love, O woman I love, O bride, O wife more resistless than I could tell the thought of you. Then separate, as disembodied or another born ethereal, the last athletic reality my consolation. I ascend, I float in the regions of your love, O man, O sharer of my roving life. Among the multitude. Among the men and women, the multitude, I perceive one picking me out by secret and divine signs, acknowledging none else, not parent, wife, husband, brother, child, any nearer than I am. Some are baffled, but that one is not. That one knows me. Lover and perfect equal, I meant that you should discover me so by faint indirections, and when I meet you, mean to discover you by the like in you. O you, whom I often and silently come. O you, whom I often and silently come where you are, that I may be with you. As I walk by your side, or sit near, or remain in the same room with you, little you know the subtle electric fire that for your sake is playing within me. That shadow my likeness. That shadow my likeness, that goes to and fro, seeking a livelihood, chattering, chaffering, how often I find myself standing and looking at it where it flits. How often I question and doubt. whether that is really me. But among my lovers, and caroling these songs, oh, I never doubt whether that is really me. Full of life now. Full of life now, compact, visible, I, 40 years old, the 83rd year of the States, to 1 century hence, or any number of centuries hence, to you, yet unborn, these, seeking you. When you read these, I that was visible and become invisible, now it is you, compact, visible, realizing my poems, seeking me, fancying how happy you were if I could be with you and became your comrade. Be it as if I were with you. Be not too certain that I am now with you. Ah, yes, now Walt Whitman transcends the ages, surpasses time itself to spread polyamorous love through ages untold. Yes, yes, yes. Well done, Walt. All right, that brings us to the end of Book 5. This one was a lot more of short poems, little thoughts, snippets, snatched from the ether that he put down to paper from pen. Whether it be the extolling of manly love, of comradeship, and the love of friends and other loves, or just the musings of eternity. Walt's got ideas, and he's got no filter either. So it just goes from straight, it's a steady flow, straight connection, from mind to arm to hands to pen to page. And here we are after these ages. All right, let's continue. We should have time to get through a fair bit of this next book. Actually, I'm not sure how long this one is. Let's take a peek, take a gander here. Oh, shit. No, the next few books are all quite short, actually. So, yeah, we'll be able to get through at least this one, and we'll play it by ear as we continue. This collection is actually quite a bit longer than... Yeah, exactly. I hold the proof in my hand, or in my hard drive. Whatever the case may be. So, he may have just been musing, but he's not wrong, is he? Anyway, as I was saying, this is quite a bit longer than I thought. We're about 2/3 of the way through our 3rd day. And we're not even at 30% through this book yet. This is going to be a little bit more of a commitment than I expected. And it might actually carry us quite a bit through Pride Month, which is incredibly important, like incredibly relevant. So I'm not complaining, not in the least. Just surprised for a book of poems to have this much heft to it is pretty impressive, honestly. It is probably most of his life's work, though, if I'm being honest. So it makes sense. It is probably a collection of things of poems and bits and pieces that he put together throughout the years. All right. Book 6. Salut, Homo. Oh, take my hand, Walt Whitman. Such gliding wonders, such sights and sounds, such joined unended links, each hooked to the next, each answering all, each sharing the earth with all. What widens within you, Walt Whitman? What waves and soils exuding? What climes? What persons and cities are here? Who are the infants, some playing, some slumbering? Who are the girls? Who are the married women? Who are the groups of old men going slowly with their arms about each other's necks? What rivers are these? What forests and fruits are these? What are the mountains called that rise so high in the mists? What myriads of dwellings are they filled with dwellers? Within me, latitude widens, longitude lengthens, Asia, Africa, Europe are to the east, America is provided for in the west. Bending the bulge of the earth winds, winds the hot equator. Curiously, north and south turn the axis ends. Within me is the longest day. The sun wheels in slanting rings. It does not set for months. Stretched in due time within me, the midnight sun just rises above the horizon and sinks again. Within me, zones, seas, cataracts, forests, volcanoes, groups, Malaysia, Polynesia, and the great West Indian Islands. What do you hear, Walt Whitman? I hear the workman singing and the farmer's wife singing. I hear in the distance the sounds of children and of animals early in the day. I hear emulous shouts of Australians pursuing the wild horse. I hear the Spanish dance with castanets in the chestnut shade to the rebec and guitar. I hear continual echoes from the Thames. I hear fierce French liberty songs. I hear the Italian boat sculler, the musical recitative of old poems. I hear the locusts in Syria as they strike the grain and grass with the showers of their terrible clouds. I hear the Coptic refrain toward sundown, pensively falling on the breast of the black, venerable, vast mother, the Nile. I hear the chirp of the Mexican muleteer and the bells of the mule. I hear the Arab mezzine calling from the top of the mosque. I hear the Christian priests at the altars of their churches. I hear the responsive bass and soprano. I hear the cry of the Cossack and the sailor's voice putting to sea at Okhotsk. I hear the wheeze of the slave couple as the slaves march on, as the husky gangs pass on by twos and threes fastened together with wrist chains and ankle chains. I hear the Hebrew reading his records and psalms. I hear the rhythmic myths of the Greeks and the strong legends of the Romans. I hear the tale of the divine life and the bloody death of the beautiful God the Christ. I hear the Hindu teaching his favorite pupil the loves, wars, adages transmitted safely to this day from poets who wrote 3,000 years ago. What do you see, Walt Whitman? Who are they you salute, and that one after another salute you? I see a great round wonder rolling through space. I see diminute farms, hamlets, ruins, graveyards, jails, factories, palaces, hovels, huts of barbarians, tents of nomads upon the surface. I see the shaded part on one side where the sleepers are sleeping, and the sunlit part on the other side. I see the curious rapid change of the light and shade. I see distant lands, as real and near to the inhabitants of them as my land is to me. I see plenteous waters. I see mountain peaks. I see the Sierras of Andes where they range. I see plainly the Himalayas, Chiang Sha, Altes, Ghauts. I see the giant pinnacles of Elbrus, Kazbek, Bozorjusi. I see the Styrian Alps. I see the Karnak Alps. I see the Pyrenees, Balkhs, Carpathians, and to the north, the Dovrefields, and off at sea, Mount Hecla. I see Vesuvius and Etna, the mountains of the moon, and the red mountains of Madagascar. I see the Libyan, Arabian, and Asiatic deserts. I see huge, dreadful Arctic and Antarctic icebergs. I see the superior oceans and the inferior ones, the Atlantic and Pacific, the Sea of Mexico, the Brazilian Sea, and the Sea of Peru, the waters of Hindustan, the China Sea and the Gulf of Guinea, the Japan waters, the beautiful Bay of Nagasaki landlocked in its mountains, the spread of the Baltic, Caspian, and Bothnia, the British shores and the Bay of Biscay, the clear-sunned Mediterranean, and from one to another of its islands, the White Sea and the sea around Greenland, I behold the mariners of the world, Some are in storms, some in the night with the watch on the lookout, some drifting helplessly, some with contagious diseases. I behold the sail and steamships of the world, some in clusters in port, some on their voyages, some double the Cape of Storms, some Cape Verde, other capes Guadalfi, Bon or Bateau. Others Dondra Head, others past the Straits of Sunda, others Cape Lopatka, and others Bering Straits, others Cape Horn, others sail the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, it's the Gulf of Mexico. Or along Cuba or Haiti, others Hudson's Bay or Baffin's Bay, others past the Straits of Dover, others enter the Wash, others the Firth of Solway, others round Cape Clear, others the Land's End, others traverse the Zuyder Zee or the Scheldt, others as comers and goers at Gibraltar and the Dardanelles, or others sternly push their way through the northern winter packs. Others descend or ascend the Obi or the Lena, others the Niger or the Congo, others the Indus or the Burunputtur or Cambodia. Others wait, steamed up, ready to start in the ports of Australia. Wait at Liverpool, Glasgow, Dublin, Marseille, Lisbon, Naples, Hamburg, Bremen, Bordeaux, The Hague, Copenhagen. Wait at Valparaiso, Rio de Janeiro, Panama. I see the tracks of the railroads of the earth. I see them in Great Britain. I see them in Europe. I see them in Asia and in Africa. I see the electric telegraphs of the earth. I see the filaments of the news of the wars, deaths, losses, gains, passions of my race. I see the long river stripes of the earth. I see the Amazon and the Paraguay. I see the four great rivers of China, the Amur, the Yellow River, the Yangtze, and the Pearl. I see where the Seine flows, and where the Danube, the Loire, the Rhone, and the Guadalquivir flow. I see the windings of the Volga, the Dnieper, the Oder. I see the Tuscan going down the Arno. I see the Venetian along the Po. I see the Greek seamen sailing out of Aegina Bay. I see the site of the old empire of Assyria, and that of Persia, and that of India. I see the falling of the Ganges over the high rim of Saqqara. I see the place of the idea of the deity incarnated by avatars in human form. I see the spots of the successions of priests on the earth, oracles, sacrificers, Brahmins, Sabians, lamas, monks, muftis, exhorters. I see where druids walked the groves of Mona. I see the mistletoe and the vervain. I see the temples of the deaths of the bodies of gods. I see the old signifiers. I see Christ eating the bread of his last supper in the midst of youths and old persons. I see where the strong, divine young man, the Hercules, toiled faithfully and long and then died. I see the place of the innocent, rich life and hapless fate of the beautiful nocturnal sun, the full-limbed Bacchus. This is me. Thanks for asking. I see Neph blooming, dressed in blue and with the crown of feathers on his head. I see Hermes, unsuspected, dying, well-beloved, saying to the people, "Do not weep for me. This is not my country. I have lived banished from my true country. I now go back there. I return to the celestial sphere where every one goes in his turn." Whew, okay. Take a moment for breath at the end of that verse. Thanks for joining us. I hope you're enjoying this, and thank you for the compliments. I do these completely cold. I have not read ahead of these, so as you hear it, it's going from eyes to mouth. Sometimes it hits my brain. Sometimes. This is if you didn't catch the title of the stream, this is Walt Whitman. So he is one of the masters of the art, and very timely, given that we're in the midst of Pride Month, is one of the most significant LGBT authors of his time. Yeah, this is Whitman. I am most certainly not an author, not a poet myself, but I am happy to read the greats. Yeah, this is Leaves of Grass. Whitman is fantastic, and this is probably the best time of year to pick him up if you haven't yet. And it is. I found, I mentioned this when we started to read Whitman a week or two ago. I had to read him and do a paper on him when I was in high school, and I absolutely hated it. Because, I mean, whenever it's an assignment, it always hits differently. But coming back to it as an adult and reading through this, it hits so differently. Early on, you have the hope, the optimism, the open and free love for all humanity that's out there. The idea that America can be a shining city on the hill, has so much potential. It's fantastic. Yeah, he hits on American pride so well. It's in a completely non-toxic way. It's just hope and optimism and pride and the idea that we could be so much. And bonding, yes, bonding between compatriots, friends, lovers. Doesn't matter. Their borders don't fucking matter. He's really great. And as I said, reading it as an adult, it hits very differently and strikes deep in your soul. I really, really love him so far. It's been a very long time since I've read him last, and it's very nice. I always try to read something for some LGBT representation in Pride Month. Last year we read Oscar Wilde, and that was great. And this time it's hard when you're trying to stick into the public domain. It's, 100 years ago, 100 plus years ago, it was a lot harder to be outside the norm. If you weren't cis back then, you were probably being persecuted even more than we could possibly imagine now. So people were much deeper in the closet. So there's a lot less publicly available works to pull out for June. So this is a great example, and a happy accident, because I'd forgotten how poignant Whitman could be. All right, let's try and get a few more verses in, but thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for engaging in the discussion that we've had so far. It's always very nice to see someone who appreciates good poetry. And thank you for the follow. I hadn't noticed that as well. I hope you enjoy your time here, and thanks for joining our small community here. All right, picking back up from verse 7. I see the battlefields of the earth. Grass grows upon them, and blossoms and corn. I see the tracks of ancient and modern expeditions. I see the nameless masonries, venerable messages of the unknown events, heroes' records of the earth. I see the places of the sagas. I see pine trees and fir trees torn by northern blasts. I see granite boulders and cliffs. I see green meadows and lakes. I see the burial cairns of the Scandinavian warriors. I see them raised high with stones by the marge of restless oceans, that the dead men's spirits, when they wearied of their quiet graves, might rise up through the mounds and gaze on the tossing billows and be refreshed by the storms, immensity, liberty, action. I see the steppes of Asia. I see the tumuli of Mongolia. I see the tents and Kalmucks and Baskirs. I see the nomadic tribes with herds of oxen and cows. I see the tablelands notched with ravines. I see the temples and deserts. I see the camel, the wild steed, the bastard, the fat-tailed sheep, the antelope, and the burrowing wolf. I see the highlands of Abyssinia. I see the flocks of goats feeding, and see the fig tree, tamarind, date, and the sea fields of tefwheat, and places of verdure and gold. I see the Brazilian vaquero. I see the Bolivian ascending Mount Sorata. I see Huacho crossing the plains. I see the incomparable rider of horses with his lasso on his arms. I see the pampas, the pursuit of wild cattle for their hides. I see the regions of snow and ice. I see the sharp-eyed Samoyede and the Finn. I see the seal-seeker in his boat poising his lance. I see the Siberian on his slight-built sledge drawn by dogs. I see the porpoise hunters. I see the whale crews of the South Pacific and the North Atlantic. I see cliffs, glaciers, torrents, valleys of Switzerland. I mark the long winters and the isolation. I see the cities of the earth and make myself at random a part of them. I am a real Parisian. I am a habitant of Vienna, St. Petersburg, Berlin, Constantinople. I am of Adelaide, Sydney, Melbourne. I am of London, Manchester, Bristol, Edinburgh, Limerick. I am of Madrid, Cadiz, Barcelona, Oporto, Lyon, Brussels, Bern, Frankfurt, Stuttgart, Turin, Florence. I belong in Moscow, Krakow, Warsaw, or northward in Christiania, or Stockholm, or in Siberia and Irkutsk, or in some street in Iceland. I descend upon all those cities and rise from them again. I see vapors exhaling from unexplored countries. I see the savage types, the bow and arrow, the poisoned splint, the fetish and the obi. I see African and Asiatic towns. I see Algiers, Tripoli, Dern, Mogador, Timbuktu, Monrovia. I see all the swarms of Pekin, Canton, Benares, Delhi, Calcutta, Tokyo. I see the Krumman in his hut, and the Dahman, and the Ashanti man in their huts. I see the Turk smoking opium in Aleppo. I see the picturesque crowds at the fairs in Khiva and those of Herat. I see Tehran. I see Muscat and Medina and the intervening sands. I see the caravans toiling onward. I see Egypt and the Egyptians. I see the pyramids and obelisks. I look on chiseled histories, records of conquering kings, dynasties cut in slabs of sandstone or on granite blocks. I see at Memphis mummy pits containing mummies embalmed, swathed in linen cloth, lying there many centuries. I look on the fallen Theban, the large bold eyes, the side-drooping neck, the hands folded across the breast. I see all the menials of the earth laboring. I see all the prisoners in the prisons. I see the defective human bodies of the earth, the blind, the deaf and dumb, idiots, hunchbacks, lunatics, the pirates, thieves, betrayers, murderers, slave makers of the earth, the helpless infants and the helpless old men and women. I see male and female everywhere. I see the serene brotherhood of philosophers. I see the constructiveness of my race. I see the results of the perseverance and industry of my race. I see ranks, colors, barbarism, civilizations. I go among them. I mix indiscriminately. And I salute all the inhabitants of the earth. And whoever you are, you daughter or son of England, you of the mighty Slavic tribes and empires, you Russ in Russia, you dim-descended black divine-souled African, large, fine-headed, nobly formed, superbly destined on equal terms with me, you Norwegian, Swede, Dane, Icelander, you Prussian, you Spaniard of Spain, you Portuguese, you Frenchwoman and Frenchman of France, you Belge, you liberty lover of the Netherlands, you stock whence I myself have descended, you sturdy Austrian, you Lombard, Hun, Bohemian, farmer of Styria, you neighbor of the Danube, you working man of the Rhine, the Elbe, or the Weser, you working woman too, you Sardinian, you Bavarian, Swabian, Saxon, Wallachian, Bulgarian, you Roman, Neapolitan, you Greek, you lithe matador in the arena at Seville, you mountaineer living lawlessly on the Taurus or Caucasus, you buck horse herd watching your mares and stallions feeding, you beautiful bodied Persian at full speed in the saddle shooting arrows at the mark, you Chinaman and Chinawoman of China, you Tartar of Tartary, you women of the earth subordinated at your tasks, you Jew journeying in your old age through every risk to stand once on Syrian ground, you other Jews waiting in all lands for your Messiah, you thoughtful Armenian, pondering by some stream of the Euphrates, you peering amid the ruins of Nineveh, you ascending Mount Ararat, you foot-worn pilgrim, welcoming the faraway sparkle of the minarets of Mecca, you sheiks, along the stretch from Suez to Bab el-Mandeb, ruling your families and tribes, you olive farm grower, tending your fruit on fields of Nazareth, Damascus, or Lake Tiberias, you Tibet trader, on the wide inland or bargaining in the shops of Lhasa, You Japanese man or woman, you liver in Madagascar, Ceylon, Sumatra, Borneo, all you continentals of Asia, Africa, Europe, Australia, different place, all you on the numberless islands of the archipelagos of the sea, and you of centuries hence when you listen to me, and you, each and everywhere, whom I specify not, but include just the same. Health to you, goodwill to you all from me, and America sent, each of us inevitable, each of us limitless, each of us with his or her right upon the earth, each of us allowed the eternal purports of the earth, each of us here as divinely as any is here. You Hottentot with clicking palate, you woolly-haired hordes, you owned persons dropping sweat drops or blood drops, you human forms with the fathomless, ever-impressive countenances of brutes, you poor Kobu, whom the meanest of the rest look down upon for all your glimmering language and spirituality, you dwarfed Kamchatkan. That was an ambush. Thank you very much. Greenlander lot! You Austral Negro, naked, red, sooty, with protrusive lip, groveling, seeking your food, you Kafra, Berber, Sudanese, you haggard, uncouth, untutored Bedouin, you plague swarms in Madras, Nankin, Kabul, Cairo, you benighted roamer of Amazonia, you Patagonian, you Fijiman. I do not prefer others so very much before you either. I do not say one word against you. Away back there where you stand, you will come forward, in due time to my side. My spirit has passed in compassion and determination around the whole earth. I have looked for equals and lovers and found them ready for me in all lands. I think some divine rapport has equalized me with them. You vapors, I think I have risen with you, moved away to distant continents and fallen down there for reasons. I think I have blown with you, you winds. You waters, I have fingered every shore with you. I have run through what any river or strait of the globe has run through. I have taken my stand on the bases of peninsulas and on the high embedded rocks to cry thence, what cities the light or warmth penetrates, I penetrate those cities myself. All islands to which birds wing their way, I wing my way myself. Toward you all, in America's name, I raise high the perpendicular hand, I make the signal to remain after me in sight forever, for all the haunts and homes of men. That one was great. Holy moly. Okay. So, I really am enjoying how each of these books has their own theme. We started off early on where it's the introductory and the sort of being a way to address all of these following poems to his friends, families, critics, and others. Inspirations. And then the Song of Myself, which was great, an exploration of what makes up the man, what makes up Walt Whitman. We've continued on, seeing different elements, different pieces and parts, different themes. But that last one was fantastic. That whole poem, the book 6, was all one poem, and it was powerful, an expression of universality. All people throughout time, distance, location, race, creed, everything are one. Everyone has their own value. There's distinction, but none is worth more or less. That is timeless. That's powerful. Exactly, especially given the time it was written in. This was written just after the American Civil War. It was, you could count on one hand, maybe two, the years since Americans were holding each other in chains. So that perspective, that idea that everyone has value and is equal in the sight of whatever god or lack thereof you might revere, is crazy. People still haven't gotten that idea through their heads after all these years. Poets are something else, man. The good ones, anyway. But, phew. All right, let's see. Yeah, and despite that, despite everything, this is a man who was free and open with his love differentiating from the standard, differentiating from the norm. He was fired because his book was salacious. He lost his job and his livelihood. He wasn't making money off of his poems, but the censor's office and everything shut him down. And all the same, someone who, in all reality, could be fostering a resentment, a feeling of being left behind or abandoned by society as a whole, so open and loving and optimistic and way ahead of his time. Way ahead. Absolutely moving. Absolutely profound. This is a man you can hold up as an example of the way you want to live your life. If you want to be a good man, this is as good a way, as good a model as I could imagine. And that's saying quite a lot. We've had the heroic examples of some of the best of all time in fiction and past and present. This is just a good man. I can't put it any other way. And I'm impressed over and over and over again of how just wholeheartedly good Walt Whitman is. And skilled as a poet. To put all this down from pen to page is flabbergasting. I'd say it's leaving me speechless, but I kind of take... I not a whole lot actually leaves me speechless. It's kind of part and parcel with being a streamer and a VTuber. I just talk. Yes, I will absolutely take a good man over a hero any day. Sometimes, good men are heroes. Sometimes, often not. I'm not one to judge, but if you can objectively look at someone and say, that is a good man and an example to raise your sons and daughters to follow, that's the best legacy you could possibly leave. Possibly. I don't care who you are. Who you are. I think this is... if you raise a son, a daughter, a niece, a nephew, a friend to be half the man of Walt Whitman, to be open and accepting of all peoples, I think we've done our duty to the next generation. If they go even further than that and surpass it, even better. I would love to see a better man. Not by virtue of there being a lack in Whitman or in anyone. But we always want to see people do better, right? There's the bar is something to be striven toward and cleared. Not to be shown as the peak, the pinnacle. No. It's like a mountain. It's there to be climbed and passed over. Why do you climb? Because it's there. Alright guys, we've got an ad kicking off in a little less than a minute, and as always, I don't want anyone to miss anything for whether or not they're a subscriber or not. Twitch be damned. So, let's go ahead and take a short break. We'll top up our drinks, stand up, stretch our legs, attend to our fuzzy friends, and we'll be back to close up because we're actually pushing our time. So, be back in just a little bit. We'll have a little bit of a chat, and then we'll bundle everyone off to another reader on Twitch, as we always do. So, just a few minutes. Thank you very much. All right, we are back. So, I've gone ahead and set a bookmark here, and this will be all we read for tonight. So let's go ahead and close this, and we can shift out of our reading nook. So, I know we kind of wandered and meandered a little bit there, but this is certainly one that is growing on me. I mean, I liked it from the get-go, but it seems like every night that we read, every night that we go through a little bit more of Whitman's Leaves of Grass, it means a little bit more. Whether it be the exploration of personhood and personality and sexuality and sensuality, whether it be the uplifting hope and pride and ideals and dreams for the future, or just the universality of experience that all of us have value throughout the ages, culture, creed. It hits. It hits deep down in your soul. I'm so incredibly happy that this came across our selections. And I know we usually don't read a whole lot of poetry. We're more in novel format. But all the same, this is a very good read. And I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have. Whether it's background noise, whether you're hanging on every word, or you're waiting for my fumbles and foibles. Every little bit is as valid as the other. I hope you're having a good time. So, let's go ahead and wrap up here for the night. For those of you who are new here, or have wandered in, or just haven't really seen a whole lot going on, here's a reminder. We always stream both on YouTube and Twitch every night that we read. We've been on Twitch, or on YouTube, for about a year and a half now. Twitch, we're coming up on half a year. So, if you'd ever like to catch up on our backlog, YouTube has all of our VODs going back to the very beginning. So, I encourage you to check us out there. The links are on the About page here on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, thanks for joining us. We're growing our little community, and hopefully having some fun with it as we go along. Alright, so, as always, I prefer to raid out to other fellow readers on Twitch. It's a small community of readers and listeners on Twitch. So, we gotta look out for each other, right? So, let's see who we've got, and who is active tonight that we might be able to pop into. Let's see. She's been going for 3 hours. I mean, she's probably wrapping up before too long, honestly. This guy is reading Scary Bedtime Story. I don't know about that. Ah! Normal human woman reads normal human romance book. I might have to keep an eye on this one. This person is reading for the first time in a while, but I think they're working. There's a rerun. I always prefer to have the live ones. With reruns, the streamer is probably in chat, but all the same, I prefer to have a live reading. Let's see. Snooze Button TV is reading The Hidden Staircase still. We've rated to her before. Happy Pride, theoretically a straight story. Theoretically, huh? Let's see. There's Cryptid again. You know what? My attention just keeps being drawn back to normal human woman reads normal human romance book. Let me see if I can peek in and see what she's up to. It feels about normal. It's been going for a bit. Yeah, why not? Let's see if they'll let us rate in. So, all right, we are going to be rating over to Mirkala tonight. I hope everyone gives them our very best. Fellow readers are to be encouraged, and small streamers are to be encouraged as a fellow itty-bitty tiny streamer. So, I hope everyone has a good night. Thank you very much for joining us for our continued reading of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. And until next time, thank you for joining us. And remember, give Mirkala our very best. Be good to each other. And have a good night. Bye now.
Too late. I cannot write or talk collectedly now. I am distracted. Hey, thanks for the raid. Arthur, I read for like 10 minutes and every word just blurs together in my brain. Yes. That link properly. I didn't catch it. Yes, yes, it did. Okay, good. What were you doing? What were you doing? What were you guys up to? I'm totally not taking a break. Or just to take a break. Swear. Swear. Walt Whitman leaves of grads. See, that would mean something to me if I was educated. I wasn't reading this for purpose. I read actual literature. I probably know what that is. Give me a quick description. See, you can't call me a fellow reader, alright? Listen, I'm pure brain rotted, like Zoomer and TikTok generation. I got nothing for you. This is